Over us now, good evening. The program they watch now, UDUOTA, and with the reach now from Independent Television, Edo State, Nigeria. Today again, we don't come. My name is Naima Pololo, and we will discuss different issues from SECOM. The medical, what we call turbulence. The medical field, in fact, the one we did, I will not understand because, like play now, the doctors, when they're on strike, they don't do 1 month. You know, almost they enter 2 months, the thing never get ahead. And when you look at the number of people who say that they die, how many people can get access to even access private healthcare inside the country? The one who say they do for surgery, a lot of those ones don't go. The one do for many things, they will say most of these things they give battle. And then all the time, most of these things they happen. So the question what the ordinary man for the street could ask me, say, all these things, will they ever end or not so it will continue to be? We don't talk, they talk, and always they talk. Today, we can't go bring one of our papa, make it join us this evening, because by this Friday, we will do Nigeria go to clock 61. And so we also talk to the elderly people to say, Baba, how this matter could be, where would they go, where would they come from, where would they now? This evening, and they will tell the former Chief Medical Director of the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Professor Mike Ibade. Prof, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. You're welcome.
How are you doing, sir?
No, wala.
First of all, how is life after service?
It's quite interesting.
Interesting, eh?
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Your food on the ring again?
Yeah, it still rings. It just be like, but you know, now it is not longer official.
Okay.
Other people can call. Maybe conferences and the rest, or meetings outside. But at least you have rest of mind.
Prof, last week Sunday, we can't reach for one of the newspapers, I think Vanguard, say about 30,800 doctors are set to leave Nigeria. And you people person say for the issue of for the medical profession, you don't work inside well. In a way, in a higher position now, they talk about now, but at least when it comes to this doctor, consultant, patient, and everything, we can see you have seen it all because you don't work out for inside well. One person don't save that kind of place. So, what will be your first reaction when you hear something like that? Say about 30,800 doctors working for Nigeria.
30,800.
30,800
are about to leave.
Yes.
Well, I don't know as they get that figure. Maybe now those when apply to the council say they won't travel. That's why they have that large number. Well, what is going on now happened before. This is a new exodus that we are seeing. We had this exodus before, but this current one where they get now, it can't serious past the ones when we get before. I remember those days in the 80s. A lot of the lecturers then, but they were senior people that were going that time. But now, what you have now, both the senior, the young ones, all of them are leaving. And the reasons why they are leaving, they are very obvious. That time, it was the same reason. That time, the pay was very low compared to what their colleagues they earn for outside. And you know, recent devaluation of the naira too can affect the take-home pay of everybody. But you know, the doctor work now universal work. So now the same books would they read, and the same curriculum would they use. So our people here can compare with their colleagues what they are earning outside. Maybe in a class now where you get 100 people graduate, it's possible 40 are outside and 60 are here. So they'll be comparing note now. If you now discover that what you are earning is maybe 15% of what your colleague they earn for abroad, then the tendency be say you would like to come out too, so that you can go and earn when you are still fit to work, so that when you come back you can settle. But it's worrisome. If the number was less, they will say okay, it will help the economy. But as it be so, it takes a lot of money to train an average doctor. So what, as a company, I be like say, would they train them, they export them to other countries. Now other countries come to benefit from the training where they give our doctors. So it depends on the angle where we for look at. If that number come out, it will affect the health sector very much. And not be said if they just that number come out, it will stop. It's a continuous process. As more they come out, others they want to come out. So it's a they be like waiting just they continue. The attraction outside is very serious now. So a lot of people are leaving.
So those of them say when I don't climb over for that side, when I see this kind of thing and the way it be now, it can be like say hope not there.
When you look up on the surface, it could be like say hope not there. Hope goes still there because like I tell you, it don't fair happen before. This one that is going on now is except that this one comes serious past the one that happened before. But I hope say government could do something about it very soon. And the earlier they do the better for everybody. Because it go reach one extent say you not go get enough people to go around and it will cause a lot of crisis everywhere. So, and there are ways to solve the problem, and government know what to do to solve the problem.
Okay, now, for somebody like you, say don't also do when this kind of strike happen, even if it's not long reach like this. Casualty not the day.
Of course, yes. Even if now one day, casualty go day.
So this one can don't reach almost past 1 month now. What's going
Yeah, it's almost 2 months because
almost
it started 1st of last month. Today is 27, so it's almost 2 months. So casualty day. If anybody tells you casualty not correct, casualty day. First of all, when strike like this day, don't forget it's a nationwide strike everywhere, particularly government hospitals. So when that kind of strike day, most patients now private clinics they will come to go, and it depends on whether you get money to go to private clinic. If you not get money to go to private clinic, then you will now resort to alternative medicine. Sometimes some people will go to treat themselves. If you check very well, if you anyway you're in the media now, you will notice that the number of deaths that you hear of is high. And now when the person who went died near you, now you go know. But the number is quite high. All those that would have survived before from ordinary illness, small illness, where therefore get help, they will just perish now. So it gets effect, and it's not what anybody should encourage at all.
You never take time to see the demands when we see these doctors they make this time around. You don't ever see them?
Yes, I know the demands when they make. I know about the demands when they make.
Like how many of them?
Well, at the beginning, I think they were about 10 or 11, but just this morning, I can't ask one of them, when be their leader, say, make you show me what did they talk about, what did they cause this problem. But I imagine too, because initially, government and doctors, they talk before. But it can't reach one extent when the negotiation can break down. I believe, say, they could not go far. Initially, they were about 10 or 11 points. So I'm sure they would have had some agreement in some. Maybe some still there when they never get agreement on. But the way this matter can be now, it may not even be those initial 11 points or 10 points. When strike starts, then you have what we call consequential effect. Other things will come there on top. Usually, now those ones the labor union or leaders they use. For instance, now, when the strike starts, government can say no work, no pay. So that is an effect. That was not there at the beginning. That may now be the problem. So they will now be demanding that this 1 month or 2 months make you pay them. That can be a problem. Sometimes it can even become so bad that the unions may now be saying, okay, even we'll remove this minister, remove this permanent secretary, remove this one, or remove this MD, just to pay back because they invest. It can be very nasty that way. But I think the problem currently may not even be that 11 points or 10 points. it may be ego. So, you know, when two people, when two association or two bodies, they quarrel like this, it go reach one essence, say, one go say, he no go move, the other one go say, he no go move, they like that, until a third party come, when go say, let's look at it this way, that will bring them together. I think they're there now. So nobody is ready to give room. Government is not ready to shift. Doctor is not ready to shift. And you know the matter don't go court. So some of the things where we go fit tough for here, because the matter they court, we know if we say so many things about them, because the matter is in court. Because the court don't say, make doctors go back. But they know, Bill I say they know.
They copy.
They not listen. So that is the matter.
Okay, make we look take our mind back, because I remember say when you be CMD that time, we tell us something about residency. The way residency be for Nigeria, you just say that the best of how they get, and can it be better?
Yeah,
because we see that the same books that they read. That means to say doctor for Saudi Arabia, not be doctor for Australia.
Yes.
That be doctor for US. That is doctor for Nigeria. That is doctor for Cote d'Ivoire. So also, it be like say this residency too. That's so different for Australia, different for Canada, different. So would it be the difference between our own kind of residency and that one?
Well, the residency where we program now the training of doctors when one specialize. That is they call residency. Okay. Okay. Make I answer your question directly. Nigeria's own.
No, first of all, that residency, some people do for television now. You never understand what that thing mean all the time.
That's why I'm telling you now. Residency mean the arrangement when government put for place for doctors when they don't qualify to train more and become specialists. That is what is residency.
Okay. So, can it be better the way it be now?
Of course.
Or
Yes.
because it be like say that thing come like say na bone with our neck.
No, you see, it depends. When the first question when you ask me, you say whether not the same format.
Yes, they use for other
all over the world. No, they vary from one place to the other. Nigeria's own is unique to Nigeria. Our own, we get our own peculiar features. But even though the difference is there are certain things that are common. The common things is that one, because of the nature of the training be say not just to read book, you go acquire skill, you go acquire experience, you go acquire managerial skill while you did that residency 6 years to 8 years. For almost everywhere, even though they are training, they will pay them. They will pay them.
Because they do the work.
Yeah, because they still they render service.
Yes.
It not be like say, okay, every morning you just gather them for class, they teach them. Then 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock you close, you go back, carry the book, carry your laptop, come out. Not be like that. Yet teaching like that they, but they will also provide services. They go treat patients, they go learn, they will do research, do all sort of things. So they are paid everywhere. But it now depends on which kind of arrangement they grant to pay them. In some places, they pay them salary, like in Nigeria, they pay them salary. In some places like US and the rest, they pay them allowance. But those allowances are not less than what they would have earned if they were any salary. But the problem here, where the strike they come all the time, it go beyond salary. Salary is just one part, but it go beyond salary. There are other things when government and even the society need to put in place to make sure that this strike, even if they come, it not go last long, or it not go come every time.
Yes, you talk about like in US, for instance, it gets this school of thought that in other some climes, if I be do residence for UBTH I not go spend 3 months. Once I do like 3 months, they'll carry me go Lagos. I spend
so
some
now
time
you
there.
go there yourself. Now you go look for the place.
Now you go look for the place.
Yes, now you go look for the place.
When say you go carry go.
Well, if you start from this hospital, maybe you know there are various programs. Maybe you want to study the skin, you want to study the brain, you want to study the abdomen. There are various specialties in different hospitals. If you do one for a year now, after 6 months you go to another place and do it. That one is operational in some places, but what we're also doing is also operational in some places.
Oh, what will they do to do operation for other places?
But with some modifications. Our own, for instance, when they started it, it has both practical aspect and academic aspect. Not be say you could just come, you will just be specialist. No. By the time you finish, you are both a specialist and you also have knowledge of research and knowledge to do other things and teach. That is where our own is robust. Whereas, if na some places, when you reach one level, you exit, you are just called a specialist. If you come to Nigeria, nobody will employ you as a consultant.
But some people when we see you go Saudi Arabia now,
Yes.
the information when I check, after some time, they go see write some exams for them.
Even here too, if you train outside Nigeria and you come into Nigeria, you want to practice, you also obtain a license. Some of those licenses, you get some where you go take exam before you get the license. You get some where they go exempt. If you train for US or you train for UK, they might exempt you. But if you train in the Eastern Bloc, maybe Ukraine or Russia and other places, when you reach here, you go do the exam before they allow you practice.
Okay, this issue of pay us, allowance this, allowance that. From your experience, why you be like that? Why you know the end?
Well, the correct one now, let's look at it that way. The correct one now, they are not asking for new salary. They are not asking for new salary or a salary increase. Now, what did they grant before? It be like say some they never paid them. Let me give you an example. Last year they started what they call residency allowance. That is the money where they will give them for the training. You know, when you are in training as a resident, it costs money because they will go a lot of updates, conferences, workshops before they are allowed to write the exam. And all those ones, they will bring the doctors from every part of the country, come put for one place, either Ibadan, Lagos, or other places. And they will stay for hotel, maybe a week or two. So they cost them money and they go pay for the exam. So government constantly fine. Because before, in the past, this kind of thing, they cause a lot of trouble. Now hospitals, they pay them before. So it depends on whether the hospital is strong or you're not strong. If the hospital is not strong, you're not going to see money take pay. That one will cost wahala for there. But government can say, okay, now instead of the hospital make them they pay, make federal government can they pay. They can put some amount when they go to pay them yearly in lieu of those things. So last year they pay them. Now last year the thing start. But it be like say not everybody they pay. But government gets your own version of government say those people were not supposed to receive and they receive. That means they give the names of people who were not supposed to receive it, and the money don't go into wrong hand.
If we see make we enter that one,
but
government say their money enter wrong hand.
Yes.
When did they pay that money?
You know, if they want government won't pay. Government will not pay directly. Government will come to the hospital.
And pay the hospital.
They'll pay through the hospital. It's only through the hospital they can pay now.
Okay.
I also know that in the past too, there are certain things we did in the past that were not right. Sometime in the past, association can go and negotiate with government. Government will agree with them. Government will want to pay money directly to them. And in the past, we have said that is not correct. You must pay through an agency of government. So, but this one, like I say, they pay through hospitals. But government says some names were not supposed to be. day when they pay.
How government noticing some living also did it?
And it's not difficult to know because the list of people when they residency for every hospital, government can easily get it.
So why this same government not get the name before they pay the money?
No, you see the way the government they do them. Maybe now the time they compile that list, let's say they will send out circular now, CMD in Lokoja, the one in Calabar, they will send a call circular, say, okay, give me the list of people in your institution. You know, they will compile the list and send it. But by the time government is implementing, maybe 9 months, 1 year, that period now, some don't come out. You know, see some of them, now every time they remove them, every 6 months, a new badge will come out. So, maybe that, they will use that formal list, take it.
Use that formal list to pay?
That list, now they will put the money against.
Okay.
They'll take and pay. So if they take that one pay, the new people will enter. Their name not that list. They don't pay them now. So if they don't pay them, now those people now go tell their association, say, look, oh, they don't pay us. You know, say, but that matter not be waiting supposed to cause strike, because government can easily solve the problem. Either you tell the hospital, all those people that were not paid, all those hospitals when they not pay, may they pay them from their own revenue. Government can reimburse them later, and the same this will do that.
Okay, so again, we'll go back. Now this country, I know you get international exposure, but at least now this country, now you go school, you go abroad, you come back, you know, like that. You get any time where the health sector ever good before, and which at what point the thing come and get a spray, and where we do now? Are we sure of the future? First of all, I'll go back. You get time when the health sector ever did good.
Yes, yes. It get one time where that's what they tell us, because they said at a time UCH, for instance, UCH for Ibadan, was one of the best hospitals in sub-Saharan Africa. But that time UCH was the only one. So if you had a situation where in a country then you had only one teaching hospital, maybe 2, UCH, maybe LUT. Of course, government can't afford to spend any money on that type of hospital. But as I speak with you now, between the teaching hospital and the Federal Medical Center, they're about 52, 53.
Is it that money not come to fund them?
Money when you go spend for 1 before or 2, you can't spend out for 53.
Okay, that
you don't go around now.
Government don't increase the money?
No, well, the government they increase the money. You see, what they did there, the problem now in the health sector is, you know, say you go pay the workers their salary. You go bring money when they will take build new structures, new equipment. Then you go bring some money when they will take run the hospital from day to day, buy diesel, buy this, buy computer, buy printers and the rest. But because the money when they not reach, what the government will do is say they will give you money to pay salary. They may bring some for that capital. The other one when they go bring, not go reach you run everywhere. May I give you an example? You will find that I not go use teaching hospital, I will use another house agency. Let's say a university now. A university, you can find that the other day, University of Lagos, I think they were saying in the papers that their NEPA B, that is their PACM B, is between 100 and 110 billion a month. And maybe government they give Unilag maybe 20 million a month
as their allocation,
running cost.
Okay.
So the hospital or the university has to generate the extra money
by themselves
to pay. But the workers don't know. The workers believe, say, government don't give you everything that you need. And you as the chief executive, you know, if you come out and say government don't give you money, that's the thing now. So you keep quiet. Meanwhile, you are suffering. That's the problem. So The thing there, we say, you know, health is health matter. It is expensive. The way the health sector be. You know, when anytime for Nigeria now, when you measure the health sector, everybody mind they go government hospital. Not be so. But in other countries, it not be like that too. For advanced countries, it's not like that too.
Now,
it's the reverse.
By your exposure,
Yeah.
What will be the difference between in other countries, how government hospital be? Why we say government hospital for here and for Ghana and for US and for Togo, no be the same thing?
You see, government hospital, the where we got it wrong, the problem where we get, we say, over the years, right from independence and even before independence, health sector, we just say nah, government business. Whereas now private sector get more money than public sector. So, and we also see it as social service, something you could just do free or do with small money. So, over the years, government has always looked at it as in that regard. Whereas in other countries, like most advanced countries, even India here, most of those hospitals, when our people they go for treatment for India, they are not government hospitals.
But they just cheap.
They are mega hospitals. You call them mega hospitals because they have big structures. Like the whole of Unibenin can be a hospital. And that hospital is not owned by government. It's owned by a group of individuals or companies. Some of them, they're in India, there, some they abroad, but they are collaborating. That is the way to go here. May I give you an example? You know, now, if you did Benin here now, most, like let's take secondary school. Let's say secondary school now, most parents go want make their children go private school. Not be true. 30 years ago, it was reversed. What do we do to education until we do unto health, there will be no peace. So that we will promote private hospitals. As they are promoting universities now, you promote private hospitals too.
No, are you saying that so in US now, government hospitals, no they?
They're there, but they are not many. There are not many. Most of them are owned by organizations, churches, counties, and other individuals, group of individuals.
So, but if we, that you are saying that the best
but
way
here
to,
now, most hospitals, the big hospitals here now,
government.
Now government hospitals. But over there is the reverse.
That is the best way to go, is to privatize the health sector. But what about the ordinary people? What you could come that place?
If you privatize, don't mean say it go cost. That's where we are getting it wrong. Like the private school when I talk just now. You get some private schools, private secondary schools, they are high class. Some are grade A, some are B, some are C, some are D, some are E. Maybe for around the Oluku here now, you may have a private school that is charging even less than what government is charging. So it depends on your pocket. They don't will just say, oh, when you go private clinic, this is the amount you are going to pay. They are going to compete among themselves. That is the way to go. Government has to change the narrative. That means they go see them like business. As they get bank of industry, bank of agriculture, you will also get bank of health. When you do that, people cannot, group of doctors or other health workers can come together and source loan at small interest. Then you cannot put up big structures, buy the necessary equipment, and you open it up to the public. When you do that, you now find, say, the number of all these strike and the rest, and the amount of dependence on government hospital will drop.
But just if they do in Nigeria, Nigerians don't go protesting.
Okay, may I give you an example? St. Philomena Hospital. Is it costlier than UBT? No, the answer is no. But it's a private hospital. You don't hear say they go strike?
No.
Are they not running the place? Or you think Catholic is subventing it? They are not subventing anything. That's the way to go. Catholic hospital, that St. Philomena deliver more women than UBTH and Central Hospital put together. Yes. So it's the way to go. The answer is already before us. So we know what to do. But everything, if you say everything, government must provide everything, you're not going to work.
Then they will continue to do like this.
Oh, it will even get worse. If you check now, every day, National Assembly, they want, even states where get federal medical center before, some House of Rep members, they sponsor motion to establish another health center, federal medical center there. And nobody is looking at how this hospital, how do they give them money. Every year, what goes into health is a common envelope. And you know the change. If we change that to go down, what is shared by 36 before and 52 now shared, will it be the same amount? Can't be the same amount.
That is the budget for the health sector.
Yes, it's a
you know
common
the
envelope.
increase.
No.
But the number of hospitals,
They are increasing now.
They
Even
increase.
if we increase, they will give the money to Ministry of Health. Ministry of Health has its own problem. It has its own program. The one for hospital is small. You know, the hospital is not equivalent to Ministry of Health now.
when we look one thing, when we see indeed health sector, when so many Nigerians they do. Other countries, ailment like cancer, tuberculosis, some of all those terminal ailments, government not they let individual get the way they say they do insurance. You know once individual get those, government will take over. Why it not be like that for you?
If we develop our health sector well, it will get to that extent.
Just 1 minute. Let for us the program UDUOTA will reach from independent television, Edo State, Nigeria, for the issue of the health sector. Prof, will they discuss since how the way forward for inside this issue of strike? We don't know how many lives we say we don't lose concerning these doctors and the strike we see not finished. Of course, the issue they cause, so we know if you put much into so many details concerning this issue. But you in different house, most of our doctors now, a lot of them, they come up from inside this country. Don't be developing very good. What you say be the work for. Prof say the best way to handle the issue of health for this country, not to privatize them. To ensure see more private hospitals come and the price will come for. So if you get any contribution, just call our number 052 290 573. I call up again 052 290 573. Then you will join us for this discussion as Prof today analyzer, because of course now experts and that person will say you don't work inside the health matter. Prof, you dey talk to us.
Yeah. So the issue of privatization, make
Yes.
you see as they work. Those days when NEPA did, before government privatized NEPA, they are, apart from maybe defense, the next sector when they get allocation and power. But go and check the recent budget. They don't make such amount of allocation to power. If anything, just maybe Transition Company of Nigeria and a few others. Or they want to build new station. So what government was spending in that sector is now being taken over by private individuals. That is the way to go. What I tell people every time, the money in private sector is far more than what is in the public sector. Just stay by the road, count 100 cars. Out of that 100, see how many be government cars inside, whether it go reach 5. That tells you the distribution of wealth in the country. The 95 are private people, and there is money in the private sector.
But the other people go fear say they no go fit pay.
No, it depends on the way government structure them. You hear so?
Yes.
Government can even put some special program, like you mentioned now.
And like they
issue of
ask about all this cancer,
Not even just
tuberculosis, most of them. How come?
Fine. You see, the money you would have used to fund big hospital on your own, you can divert it to the program. Apart from that one.
Okay, somebody call us. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, so would it be your name or where they call us from?
My name is Ugo. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead, my brother.
Good evening.
Yes.
I come from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead, make your contribution.
Okay, I want to ask Dr. Formal PhD for Univer.
Yes.
I want to ask a question.
Go ahead now, they hear you.
In say for America, say medical hospital.
No.
I want to know how government will give free medical care in America. If government maybe.
No, the treatment in America is not free.
He said treatment for America not free.
It's not free. What if they there be say?
Government, they give health care for free for America, even in the United Kingdom.
It's not free. You are getting the question wrong. What thing that they do for them is say there are policies. They will say nobody is denied access to health. But there is a strong collaboration between government and private sector. If you treat individuals, you remit the bill to an agency that will pay. And there is the arrangement whereby the rich pays for the poor.
Okay, the rich pays for the poor.
Yes, by way of taxation.
Okay, by way of taxation.
Yes, it's by way of taxation. And we have already suggested it here before. For instance, if government comes up, like now, there is education trust fund. That is about 1% of the budget. If you also make 1% of the budget head fund, then from there you can fund all those mono programs, that is TB, HIV, tuberculosis, other common illness. Then you can take care of the vulnerable, under 5, pregnant women, elderly. You can take care of them. It doesn't mean that in US or in UK there are no government hospitals. But all those big hospitals you hear of that our people go from here are not necessarily owned by government.
But what the economy can look like, say, those things they cheap.
For there? Yeah. Health is not cheap at all there. Anybody will tell you say health cheap there. Let me give you an example. If you do a cesarean section here for 45,000 naira, abroad, that can be up to 2,500 pounds or 2,500.
One of my boy, I should say you know her. One of my boy, I should say you know her. He get wife get issue. That is his cousin get issue. So they can't go for this. They recommend somebody may go hospital. They are Nigerians, so but they recommend go hospital, go do this. How do you call it? This one when the younger brother is doing artificial something.
Okay. IVF.
Oh my God! He said they won't use their bomb or TP.
I'm telling you now.
So now they come look and say the thing they cheaper to do
every
that IVF for Nigeria than that side.
Now they tell you so. Every service, every health service, it is cheaper here than not just cheaper by say 20%. You are talking of a fraction, maybe 20% of what is paid abroad. I just give you an example. The cesarean section to deliver a woman here now for maybe UBTH you might pay maybe 45,000. In some hospitals abroad, you might pay up to 2,500 pounds or $2,000. Convert it. So labor, because labor is cheap here. Labor is very cheap. So that is why it is low here. Labor is cheap. What a professor of medicine will earn here, a nurse abroad doesn't earn it. He earns far more. So it's for us to take advantage of that one. We have, God bless us, we have the ability to develop our health sector. But government will need to change a number of things.
But like that issue of a thing where they look now, I feel say those people you get, but would they really say government for other country, government take over children's health, old women?
It's through insurance. It's through insurance. There's insurance in Nigeria, but insurance is for the public sector only.
They work?
Yes, they work. It's for public sector. That means organized public sector, organized private sector. Now it's there for. That means people when they pay salary at the end of the month. But recently, you know, Edo State has now. But the one for Edo State is also for civil servants in Edo State. But later on, you may find that government may come with policy that will say, if you can contribute to so amount of money, you can also access the health insurance. Anytime I'm teaching this topic in a class, what they tell people to say? It is easy to do. I'll give you an example. Take the Catholic Church. Catholic Church is the biggest organization in the world. There is hardly any village or town you will not find them. So if government tomorrow...
Okay, let's hello, good evening.
Good evening, brother.
What is your name? Where they call us from?
My connection.
Go ahead. Come on for where your television day.
My connection.
I said come on for where your television day.
What I want to say. Okay, I don't come on for there.
Go ahead, we'll hear you.
What they try to ask Prof to say the time when he did, we know the time when he did.
Yeah.
When they handle UDUOTA. It is not just be like this. Does it mean not be the people when they run the matter for Nigeria, they see they run the health sector, things good that time. And that's a place where they always better. I know how you told them move things. Why come to say the one we did now, sorry to say, I don't know whether not because of the change of the government, whether I come just later, just everything just practical like this. So why? What did it happen?
Okay.
Well, that would be me answering questions about UDUOTA.
Yes.
Yes. But I will answer, but
yeah.
I may not go to specific.
Yes.
Just to answer his question. What he did there, BC? Management style vary. What one governor go do for state, another governor will come, go say a different thing you go do, and you cannot stop them. And that is another thing about control of these hospitals. There is no template to run these hospitals. There's no paper government will give to you, do it like this or do it like that. No. Now you go use your initiative. So that is why one person will do it, A will do it this way, another B will do it this way. But it depends on what you want to do. Are you following me? But the problem of ground now about the hospitals, we say, if we not do some of the things where I talk, so in the next 10 years, it will even be worse. Because when I was there, for instance, let me tell you, every month, NEPA, 15, 17 million. Diesel, 15, 17 million. To pay all those outsourced workers, 18, 21 million. Then maybe they give me 8 million in a month to do it. I have to work to raise that type of money. I also pity government because I tell them, say, the workers when UDUOTA get now, which is almost 4,000. If a private person get that hospital, you not go employ 1,000. No. And you get one thing when Obasanjo start as president. If the rest had built on it, by now the health sector will be different.
What do you mean, sir?
Okay, fine. Two things I will talk about. One of them be outsourced services. The other one are environment. That outsourced services, what do you do, we say? In the hospital, there are core hospital staff, core staff. Even for here now, there are core television staff. The man who is manning the gate cannot say he's a television staff. The man who is sweeping your road is not the television, it's not the media staff. So it's the same thing in the hospital. There are core health staff, there are non-core health staff. So what government did that time, they said they identify some non-core health staff. They say, okay, all these ones, pull them out from the salary bill. You'll be paying them through contracts. That is why today, if there's a strike, the hospital will remain clean. It will not go smell, because all those workers that are doing those jobs, they are no longer staff of the hospital. The security men are no longer staff. of the hospital. You can extend that thing such that the population of the workers will drop from that 4,000 maybe to a conservative of 1,005. You will save a lot of money. Or, for instance, what stop government, for instance, to go into partnership with, say, UBCH, for instance, collaborate with Church of God Mission or Catholic Church?
So what's it going to happen when they collaborate?
If they do that one, services will be more efficient. The number of staff will reduce. People will be more dedicated. And people will be committed to their job.
How?
That is how. If you know that, because if it's a purely government staff, a senior staff does anything, to sack him will take you another 1 year.
You know, I say whether you fear those consultants.
Me?
No, I ask you that question. You can't say no.
No, because it's the structure. The rule is that you cannot sack the head of the hospital cannot sack a senior staff easily. Yes. You must go through the board. If the board not there, you go to the ministry. And there are processes you go follow. Before those processes finish, 1 year don't pass.
Okay.
Whereas if it is government-private institution, let's say Dangote factory now, one director misbehaved. Not that day they go. That's the thing. So we must look at it. Look at Kobahi now. Bende Brewery shares a common boundary with Guinness. We must learn from experience. So, we cannot be opening. God gave us brain so that we can reason. Bende Brewery shares common boundary with Guinness. Whereas Guinness is thriving, Bende Brewery is closed. Why? It's because one is government, the other one is private. That's the way to go. The government knows what to do. There are a lot of things we can, for instance, all this big equipment where we require, where they make us go abroad, go for tests and the rest. Do you know that when I was in the office, for instance, some people will come tell you, say, this MRI machine, I go bring and come for your hospital, come put on. But you go tell me how you go pay or how we go run it together. If you write paper to government, say, this is a proposal you have, you may not even get response. Abroad, and let me answer that man just now. Abroad, all these big equipment, CT scan, MRI, all those big hospitals, they know they pay, they know they buy.
Who they draw?
Okay, fine. That is what you call placement. Placement. All those companies making those equipment, they are not interested in you buying them. That's not where they get their money. Where they get their money is the consumables you use with it. Are you following me? So what they do is that this city now, they will bring this city, they will put it in your hospital, they will maintain it, run it. That machine goes spoil. It don't spoil now.
Because not their own.
Thank you. But the materials when you need, it's like buying a car. The diesel or the fuel when you go buy, now there they go put their little money, recover their cost. They don't buy, they don't sell to them. They buy, they put them. Every 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, they'll come and remove that machine, put another one.
And they get another means to get their money from the hospital.
Yes, now the way to get it is what I've just told you. If I come now put generator for ITV, this generator belongs to me, but you must buy diesel from me. And that diesel you are buying from me, instead of 123 naira, I say it is 125. In 2 years, I've recovered the cost of the generator. That's what they do. And that generator will never go back. Because now the owner, now the control. I went to US once. I visited a friend. You know this dialysis machine? That my friend, my classmate, he get one big dialysis center. So while we were in the office, one man came, one marketer. He was pleading with him so that he can bring 20 machines to come and install in his facility. And I asked him, why don't you people do that same thing for Nigeria? He laughed. He said, first of all, they don't get airporter for Nigeria. They don't get branch for Nigeria. I said, why? He said, the closest is now Cameroon. Okay. The next thing, he said, because power not steady.
For this side.
They cannot, if they place their machine, it will be going bad every time, and they will incur heavy costs.
All right. Yes, we provide the watch now. UDUOTA, the reach from independent television and State Nigeria. We talk since with the former chief medical director of University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Professor Mike Ibadi, and they let us know, see, the way to go in the health sector and how we will take be able to do. But probably before you come out, that time when you say you did for the CMD, you get some kind of things when you say you advise the public. Me, you see, tell them our eating habit. When you talk about sugar, one woman when they watch this program, and I can't stop to they do. So me just need drops from about eating habit.
What I will say about eating habits? Be say we need to let us be natural in what we eat. Let us be natural. When I say natural, I will just digress a little. As of today, the banana you see by the roadside, the plantain you see by the roadside that is ripe, some people have used chemicals. They have used carbide to ripen them. Oranges, they have used carbide to ripen them. Are you following me? The palm oil is adulterated. The palm wine is adulterated. A lot of things that we eat are now adulterated. Let me give you another example. Those days, if you take pawpaw, if you pluck them, you cut them, you know, say as they sweet. Is that the same thing you have now? No, because they now have different brand, different species. So, if you can plant all those things yourself, fine. If you cannot plant them, buy them in such a way that you will be able to take control of the ripening of those fruits.
What of young people now when they miss different friends?
Thank you. That one are different, you know.
You just talk about for inside that one.
That one are different.
I say they affect heart.
Hey, you know, as it is now, that thing is a bomb, big bomb that is waiting to explode. It's a big bomb that is waiting to explode. So, I hear now, even in primary school, they do all those things. Not even secondary school alone.
Prof, you will come again, though. You will come again.
I did break it.
You will come again. We will look at that area because so many people they watch you from different.
I'm interested in
different parts of the world, and they like to hear most of this. So particularly this environment make our children know what to do.
But they go here. They go
here. No, at least some of the year.
At that age, when they do those things, at that age when they do those things, they are not ready. They are ready to exploit anything.
Okay, we'll salute to John this evening.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, on Friday again, we'll do it again. We'll bring another set of discussion. Don't forget on Friday night, be October 1st and Independence Day. We'll expect elder statesman, Senator Roland Owier, may come to tell us about how and where we need to go in the near future in Nigeria. Until on Friday again, when we'll meet again, God bless Nigeria. Good night.